Hey, my name is Frank, and this is what we did last night. We had a smaller group last night because it was like 20 degrees, and it was the first week of school, and it was the first Wednesday night back since our winter retreat, but it was still an awesome night. So as the kids were walking in, we played our normal Spotify playlist, which is a mixture of Christian hip-hop, Christian rock, some dubstep, trap music, a couple secular songs that are safe for youth group, and just a bunch of songs that the kids like. It's a pretty big playlist, and I try to add it often every time I hear a new song that I think the kids will dig, and I often get requests to take songs off. Like, there's a no Taylor Swift policy, but I keep one on there secretly, and every time we start youth group, I just hit it on random, and the kids seem to enjoy it. I have a little secret for countdown videos. There's a guy by the name of Delmar Pete who is in the youth ministry group, and he has a playlist that he created. It's just a bunch of countdown videos, and some of them have music, some of them don't, but it's just a huge playlist of countdown videos that I always go to when I desperately need a last minute countdown video. So I'll put the link of the playlist in there, and I'll also put the link of the specific countdown that I used last night. So for our funny videos, I played two videos. One was that viral video that's going around with the Chicago Bulls kiss cam fail thing. It's just funny. Like, the guy is totally oblivious of the kiss cam. He's on his phone. I think it might be staged, but even if it is staged, it is hilarious. His reaction, the mascot picks her up, and he also puts the soda on that guy's head. It's just a funny video, and our kids were like loudly laughing. And so even though it's a viral video that some of the kids probably already seen, everyone in the room was just dying. So it was a good video to show, and you can see it in the link below. For the last funny video, it was this video like kind of like welcoming everybody to the youth group, and if they're new, kind of like encouraging them that this is an awesome place to be and things like that. And it was a part of the DYM membership. So I can't link it anywhere because it's not out yet, and so it'll probably be out like next month or 2 months from now or something like that. So it was a really funny video because it had like a really interesting twist at the end that had this kind of like Family Guy, someone's yelling for an extended period of time in pain kind of bit, and so it's really, really funny. I can't link it, but this is why you should get a DYM membership, so you can get exclusive stuff like this. Whenever I get my DYM membership, I always use everything that I can use on the first Wednesday, which I'm going to talk about the game next. So for the first game, the group game we played was called Shuffle Your Buns. And this is like a classic youth group game where everyone's in the circle, and there's one person in the middle, and there's an empty chair, and the objective of the game is to have the guy in the middle sit in the empty chair while everyone else in the group is sitting in the seat next to them. Super simple. You can even add two people in the mix and only have one empty chair. So not only is everyone moving, but they're fighting over that one seat, and it was a great time, and our kids loved it. And then for our door prize game, we had two kids come on stage, and we played this game called like Puzzle Top Movies of 2014. And again, this is a game that was in the DYM membership. Now listen, this game was gold. Like, when you get to buy this game, it's an awesome game. It's a ton of files, but the way the game worked is there is a movie. So let's say it's the Lego Movie, and there's like 29 puzzle pieces or 28 puzzle pieces, and every time you go to the next slide, a puzzle piece comes on the screen till it forms the entire like movie poster of the movie. And so what I did is I had the kids come up, and I said whoever yells the name of the movie first gets the point for that movie. And so one of the movies, it was like the X-Men movie, they got it in two puzzle pieces. There was a movie, some boy movie about, I forgot what it was called, some movie that I've never heard of, and it took them to like almost the whole title slide had to be on the screen. And so it was a fun game because it involved movies that they knew, and there was an element of like urgency because the puzzle pieces were slowly coming up, and you wanted to yell it before the other person got it. So anyways, you won't be able to get this unless you have a DYM membership, or you can purchase it next week. So it's a great game. I loved it. Hopefully next month you can get it and play it as well. Then I did a little bit of announcements, and then we transitioned to worship, where we did One Thing Remains, Song of Moses, and Freedom Reigns. And so if you've been watching these videos, I've probably mentioned Freedom Reigns like 3 of the past 4 or 5 videos or whatever. But Song of Moses is personally my favorite song one of my favorite worship songs like of all time. So it's by Aaron Keys. I'll put a link below. Make sure you check out those songs. So for this month's sermon series, we're doing a study called Struggles, and so I have to kind of explain how we got there. And so next week, I can just kind of tell you what we talked about. I want to do a series about social media because we haven't talked about social media in over 2 years. Since social media has so quickly evolved in the past 2 years, I wanted to talk about different things and use social media as an example of how, our relationships and our desires in our relationships and different biblical values that we should be demonstrating can be hindered through social media. But that it doesn't limit, it's not limited to social media. So like if a person is narcissistic, even if they didn't have Instagram, they'll still be narcissistic. Does that make sense? So I wanted to use social media as a launching point to talk about real issues. And so Ben Reed in the Youth Store has a series called like Disconnected or something like that. I'll put a link below so you can check it out. And I kind of wanted to follow like kind of see what his trajectory was and see what his arc was in his sermon series, so you can get an idea of what other people have done. And then over at lifechurch.tv, they have a resource website called Open. And they just give away everything they have. So any graphics, sermons, whatever, they just give it all away to anybody. And so it's a great resource, especially for youth pastors who might need excellent graphics and like, graphic design stuff, but don't know anything about graphic design. You just go to open.lifechurch.tv and use their graphic packages. And like the only thing that might suck is that you have to use their sermon title unless you have Photoshop and you can edit the stuff. But they have amazing graphics and stuff. All that stuff are free. And so they have a series called Struggles, and it's kind of similar, having to do with social media and how it relates to real issues. And so it was just a perfect storm. And so I decided to not make any kind of graphics myself. I just used their graphic packages and then kind of wrote my own sermons, but I still kind of are keeping close to the arc that they used, but kind of talking and contextualizing to my own youth group. So I say all that to say this is today we talked about comparing and envy and being content. It was a fun message to talk about contentment and using Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat as a segue into this discussion. So I'll put all the links below, and you can see everything I've kind of done. A little bonus thing I've done is, again, Delmar Pete, the guy I took the idea from earlier, the guy who had the playlist. He loves his little GoPro and shoots videos in his youth group, a ton of awesome videos in his youth group. I might add the channel below. But one thing he did is he took a time-lapse video of his services. And so what I decided to do was do a time-lapse video of my service. And so I'm going to link below what my service looked like this past last night, and it's going to kind of show you guys that my youth group isn't massive, right? It's not huge, especially last night where like half the people didn't show up because it was 20 degrees outside. So you can see kind of our youth group. You can kind of, if you follow the order of worship that I just kind of told you, you can kind of see that an hour and a half of a service condensed to 4 minutes. There would be more, but my GoPro died in the middle of it. So check that video out below, and then I will see you guys, Lord willing, next Thursday. Thanks for watching.